Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Tin Files. This is going to be a new series I'm starting because the Cameron video's been taking a while, and I've been wanting to do this for a bit. See, we cover a ton of conspiracy theories and conspiracy theorists on my live streams, but unfortunately, tons of them get lost in the mix of the streams. They're 3 hours long, you can't go back and easily watch them. So I thought it'd be a good idea on this show, the Tin Files, to take a look at some of the most interesting videos and theorists in a more digestible format for YouTube. So to start today, I want to introduce some people to a man named Hans Wormhat, a conspiracy theorist of many beliefs, but today we're going to be focusing on one of his obsessions with animals. So without further ado, take it away, Hans.
Hans Wormhat, send this video to people who believe in penguins. And I'm talking about the tuxedo wearing, living at the alleged South Pole, the March of the Penguins type penguin.
I feel like at the point where your main frame of reference for an animal is a famous documentary from like 20 years ago, you should probably give up on trying to be an expert on that thing.
A memory that sticks with me from childhood is going to see the penguins at the zoo, and I was just very underwhelmed because in your mind as a child you think, oh, emperor penguins, these big bright orange, what do you know, these big penguins with bright orange on them, and you get to the penguin exhibit and no, it's these little black and white splotched aquatic birds. And I remember thinking, what, this isn't a penguin.
So to be clear, Hans was a child and was so disappointed by seeing penguins in the zoo, he decided they weren't real. Whoever designed that penguin exhibit really dropped the ball. Alright.
This is like pretty new penguin exhibits at SeaWorld. I think most of these are Orlando SeaWorld. I don't know if they're all the same ride or anything, but you scoot around on these Roomba things and you watch screens.
One of my special interests will actually help here. I'm really interested in theme parks. It's not a conspiracy that they're using screens. They're not trying to hide anything from you. It's just that it's a cheaper alternative to building actual animatronics and interesting sets. So especially B or C tier theme parks like SeaWorld have a tendency to just put rides in where you're staring at screens. It's terrible, it's a waste of time, I don't like it, but it's not a conspiracy.
There is this part, and what it is, these are just animatronics in the background, and they sell it to you as living penguins. And it's just not real.
I've been on this ride before. They're not animatronics. That's the end of the ride when you see actual penguins. Hans just assumes because he's seeing them, and he doesn't believe in penguins, well, they have to be animatronics, because Hans couldn't possibly be wrong, could he?
They're animatronics. Those emperor penguins, they didn't used to have these at zoos at all because just the technology wasn't there, I guess. It was too hokey. They only would show you photos of them and you would watch them on TV, but never in the zoo would they ever have stuff like this. Nowadays, I guess they have this at SeaWorld.
I looked this up. The first emperor penguin to ever be in a zoo was in March 1950. So not exactly incredibly new, Hans. Hans has this weird habit where he assumes if he hasn't heard of something, no one has heard of something. So as far as he's concerned, penguins weren't in zoos until he saw a penguin in a zoo. I don't know if there's like a word for this, but it's incredibly myopic as a worldview. It's really bizarre.
I went on this ride last week. I honestly thought it was just animated penguins, until the ride turned around and there were real penguins at the end. I seriously almost cried. They could tell. This person could tell that it was just a bunch of animated penguins. It's not real.
I feel like Hans entirely missed the point of this comment. Hans, she wasn't saying that the penguins at the end were fake and animated. She was saying that the ones that were animated on the screens were disappointing, and then she was excited when she saw the real penguins at the end. This doesn't vindicate you. This woman believes she saw penguins, and for a pretty good reason. She saw penguins!
I love this because fake animals are one of the things where if you go and you read through the comments, people have instincts about this stuff.
Because if I trust anyone, it's people in the YouTube comments. Certainly the last couple decades of YouTube have taught us YouTube comments are a bastion of genius information and great takes.
Look at these old penguins. How can you not tell that that's just a taxidermy joke? Doesn't even look good.
Don't body shame the penguins, that's just rude.
These really old ones, too. The really old photos are just puppets.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Even if you built this like a set, Jim Henson style, and had a set that's elevated, and then all the puppeteers below, there isn't enough room underneath all of these penguins for there to be a group of puppeteers. Where are the puppeteers, Hans? You can't have puppets without puppeteers.
And people will always come, why? Why would somebody do this? Why would somebody do this? I've known people in my life to lie about what they ate for lunch, and it doesn't serve any purpose.
Individuals being compulsive liars is an entirely different thing than claiming that tens, if not hundreds of thousands of scientists are all involved in a conspiracy to convince people that an animal that doesn't exist does. Not a single one of them has come out and been like, hey everyone, got you with the penguins thing. It's not equivalent. It's not even close to equivalent.
They are of their father, the devil, the father of all lies, and they love hoaxing people. They think that this is so funny that they can get people to believe in stuffed animals. It makes them feel powerful that they can make people live in a fantasy land. And they get off on gatekeeping knowledge and feeling superior to people and smug because they know that the stuff is all hoaxery. And so that's why they love pushing it.
Comments like this are always interesting from Hans because it belies a certain level of projection. And I guess what I mean by that is he feels insecure in some way. That's my vibe. At least that's what I'm picking up, is that he has some sort of insecurity about his own knowledge or worldview, so he must assume that that's caused by someone else and it's not an internal thing. So he must project outward the idea that there's this group of people out there smugly mocking him, and that's why he feels insecure, instead of recognizing he just needs therapy or to deal with his problems in a healthier way. It's really fascinating.
And they're liars. They love to lie. They don't need a reason. Although, of course, there are reasons for this stuff. They use it to push evolution. The South Pole hoax. I don't believe that Antarctica is icy wasteland. I think the center of the Earth, that might be where Garden of Eden is, or was. I don't know.
Hans has a variety of strange beliefs, but, I guess let's stick to the penguins today, shall we?
Penguin 33. I looked up penguin books, and what do you know? The very first book that they show is Lolita, the pedo book.
Now would be a great time to remind Hans that Google search results are prioritized based on what they think you'll like based on your search history. For instance, mine, when I did the same search, came up as Dracula. So, maybe keep that one to yourself, Hans.
And penguin, bright orange. Orange is 33. Penguin is 33. Go look at the old penguins. That's just a stuffed, looks like it's made out of a sock or something.
33 is significant to Hans because in Freemasonry, which you may have heard of, the highest level you can achieve is level 33. Hans believes that, along with the Illuminati and various other secret cabal groups, the Freemasons control the world. So whenever he sees the number 33, he thinks it's a secret signal from the Freemasons telling you, we have a secret plan and we're doing it. It's us, it's the Freemasons, like it's their calling card. Because as we all know, when you're doing a nefarious plan, it's always a good idea to leave hints for people to figure out.
Photos like this are just all Photoshop. To me, this is just like, look at that. This is so out of place. How do you see how out of place that one looks? It looks totally different than all the other ones, and it's just hanging out there.
This comment is honestly confounding to me. It seems like Hans is confused that the back of a penguin looks different than the front of a penguin, and that's the entire reason he thinks it looks out of place. Because this is one of the only ones facing away in that direction. What do you say to that? The man doesn't have object permanence.
Look at this. I got this from, I don't know if it was from this image. I was looking closely at these because just certain instincts that I had, I was like, I bet if you looked really closely, you could find like stencil penguins where it's like the same exact penguin twice, positioned the exact same way. I bet you could find that, or maybe a mirror image, but matches perfectly. That's just not the type of investigating I do where I'm going to go, I know penguins are fake. And so I'm just looking for more like obvious stuff than that.
He literally just proposed a way to try and test his theory, yet he's so confident in his nonsense, he refuses to do it. It's laziness, it's intellectually dishonest, it's incredibly frustrating. Conspiracy theorists kind of have a tendency to drive you mad if you listen to them long enough.
I was looking really closely at a penguin thing, and this penguin just has an orange 6 on the belly. They like to leave a mark sometimes. So what is it? These are just people who are good at Photoshop, and their day job is literally making hoax Photoshop stuff. That's why there's a lot of people out there that are good at Photoshop. Their whole job is making hoaxery with Photoshop, and they'll leave a little mark. Oh, look, there's a 6 there. Or like I said, they'll make repeats of the same penguin in different spots, just so that they know they can point it out. Hey, look, it's fake. That penguin's the same as this penguin.
Wow, I really need to learn Photoshop. Apparently, there's incredible job security in making up animals. Does anyone want to teach me Photoshop? I promise I won't tell anyone about the penguins. I'll quit this job. It's fine. I'll trick people for a living.
Here's what I mean with the copy paste. It just looks like it looks like somebody took the same penguin image and just pasted it on top of itself like 6 times.
Hot take, penguins look like other penguins. I know. It's a surprise.
A lot of times the penguins just look like they're floating over nothing.
I think this is a great example of motivated thinking. Hans already believes that all of this is fake and photoshopped, so he's looking for something to be wrong with this image. Maybe it's just me, but I look at this image and I clearly see the ground that the penguin is standing on. It's just white, because it's snowy. But Hans, already prepared to believe that everything is fake, sees it as some miraculous screw up from the Photoshop people? I don't know, it's just interesting how the human brain will see what it wants to see, and that's so key in conspiracy theories, is motivated thinking.
Sometimes, so like the movie, like March of the Penguins or whatever, probably mostly CGI, but some of these bigger penguins, it can be a bird suit and they'll stick a midget in it and have them waddle around.
So first of all, the preferred nomenclature is little people. Secondly, I had wondered where Warwick Davis had been, so maybe he has a point about this one.
It's never just one thing. Puppetry. Have you ever wondered why is puppetry such a big deal? Why are these adults dedicating their lives to the craft of puppetry? And it's puppetry is one of the ways that a lot of this nature stuff is faked.
Hans, you've dedicated your life to talking about animals that don't exist that do exist. I'll take puppetry any day.
Wow. So what are the circumstances surrounding this image? 1 in a million shot. So somebody's out there diving with the penguins and they happen to get this amazing shot, or is it just Photoshop BS?
Presumably a nature photographer was out there specifically to take photos of the penguins. Now, there's a great degree of luck in nature photography, so yeah, they got lucky, but they were out there intending to do this. They were ready with their camera. It wasn't just some random person, Hans. No one is claiming that.
Penguin stuff is fake. It's just a big meme, this penguin thing. I think it's similar to the gorillas, and I think a lot of people know about this penguin thing. It's just a big Masonic joke that's gotten out of control, and they just have to keep running with it. That's it for this video. God bless everyone.
So that's our first 10 files out of the way. A nice introduction to Hans Wormhat for some people who maybe haven't heard of him. He's a fascinating guy, and I can't wait to get into even more of the conspiracy theories he believes, because this is just the tip of the iceberg for him. Believe it or not, the fake animal stuff, not the weirdest stuff he believes. He has a lot of weird beliefs about, trans people, for instance, but we'll have to save that for another time. So, thanks everyone for stopping by. If you haven't already, consider liking the video. Consider subscribing if this is your first video. I'm planning on doing these weekly or bi-weekly, so excited to do more. See you guys next time on Tin Files.